Aaron Rodgers is in the spotlight once again after commenting on the offensive progress so far this preseason, saying he likes where they are, but they're going through some growing pains and fans may need to temper their expectations. Now, in a normal situation, the best teams are the ones where the defense is ahead of the offense early, and then the offense starts to catch up a little bit as you go through camp. If you have a defense that's getting torched right when you start, that is a fatal sign. The reasoning is very simple. Offense is a lot more about timing and having to move as one organism while inserting new schemes and adjustments. And typically early on, defenses don't have as much in. Therefore, it's simpler and kind of easier to cover everything. It's not as complicated. But seeing Rodgers say this makes me think he may be letting everyone know that he isn't exactly thrilled with the pieces that he has. I mean, after all, you lost a witch of the highest order in Davante Adams. And while Sammy Watkins is nice, he's no Davante. Maybe Aaron's a little upset after losing Davante Adams and having one of the best wide receiver classes in NFL draft history, where the Packers really didn't even make a move for the top guys. Now, Christian Watson, he'll probably be a good player, but with the prospects the Packers could have landed at wide receiver, he's basically the Czech Cola version of what they needed. Like everyone else in the NFL, Aaron's time is running out. And after the typical Days of Our Lives episodes we see with him each offseason, who knows how or where his career will finish. But if this is any indication, he may be subliminally sending out an SOS before the ship even hits the iceberg. And to me, Packers fans should be worried. Again, we talked about the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and even James Harden, you could say. Some guys are willing to take a pay cut to make the team better.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers wants the whole bag. He don't want to share his bag. He's the sheriff of Nottingham. And you know what? It's capitalism in America. He can go get it, and they're going to pay him. But if I'm a Packers fan, Aaron Rodgers communicates kind of in a different way. He doesn't really come out and say 100% of what's going on, but he leaves breadcrumbs.
Very mysterious.
It's very mysterious. It's like he walks into the woods and leaves the rope where the trees are going left and right so he knows how to get back out. So part of the spidey senses in me are saying, Aaron's out there looking around and going, well, I know I'm going to be here for a little bit, but I wouldn't expect us to be making runs like we did. And you shouldn't with the moves that have been made.
If you're a Packers fan, you have the most accurate passer in the history of the game as your quarterback, and you're going to pay him $50 million a season, you don't want to be hearing phrases like temper expectations or expect growing pains. You just don't. You made 2 NFC championships in the last 3 years. You're hoping to fine-tune some things, tweak some things to get over that hump, not completely rebuild. Now, look, Davante Adams is a huge loss, so if you're hearing expect growing pains on offense, maybe you're hoping that, you mentioned Tom Brady's name, I'm thinking a lot more Peyton Manning when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, because he's never been able to have the best defense on his team. Maybe that's what the Packers have been trying to do with these last few drafts by not getting him the weapons on offense. Maybe the Packers can finally lead with an elite defense and have Aaron Rodgers and the offense do just enough to be able to win a Super Bowl.
So you're saying they want to lean on Aaron so heavy that they're willing to just overload the defense, let him have a couple weapons. And look, weapons, like I said, Sammy Watkins isn't bad. We know about Lazard. Tanya and I know is rehabbing that knee. We know him in the seam. He's unbelievable. But again, to be able to win the games that you're going to have to win, I still don't think that defense is there. I love Aaron Jones coming out of UTEP. The dude's unbelievable in the passing game, and Aaron continues to talk about they need to make adjustments in the passing game to the running backs to become more effective. That's a lot of where the offense is starting to head. You're getting, even in college, glorified runs in the pass game to running backs. Again, a check down, basically a glorified run when you look at it.
Well, I would say that the 3 guys you just named will not win you a championship in the NFL.
They won't.
They won't. You're not. It's not even this draft. Let's go back to past drafts with the Packers. You're going to draft this much defense. I better see it on the field. Didn't have a top 10 defense last year. And you give away Davante Adams. You didn't get better. You didn't get better. Don't expect to make it farther than what you... I can't believe you made it as far as you did. That's how good Aaron Rodgers is. You can only say hike and throw it to Aaron Jones so many times. Davante Adams was probably 80% of this offense, and it's an organizational problem. If you're going to keep drafting defensive players and it's not going to show up on the field, you're not going to win the big game. You're just not, because the NFL is almost turning into what? A passing league. Well, it is a passing league. Now it is, and you're seeing a lot more checks down to the what? To the back. If your main guy right now is your running back catching the ball, you're not going to win. If your second best guy is Lazard, you're not going to win. Or Sammy Watkins, you're not going to win. Really, the teams that win Super Bowls, who win the big games, have a big quarterback and a number one wide receiver to take them home. And it's not Aaron's fault. It's the organization, the people who run the Packers, who don't know how to draft right. And you talk about this, and you talk about this. All the receivers that were in this draft.
Yeah.
All the receivers. And I don't know if they...
Jameson Williams, Drake London. I can go down the list.
And I think they traded back to get a guy with an offense that the only thing they do 90% of the time is run the ball. Yeah. It's going to take 3 to 5 years for this kid even to be really worth his salt. I think he'll be a good player. But still, that's not a guy you put on the board that's going to win you a championship. I put it down on the Packers. It's not Aaron's fault. It's y'all's fault.
And you know who owns the team? The fans.
The fans.
I know.
They
get a little piece of paper. You may get some pitchforks and torches going up there to the building in Green Bay right there by Lambeau. Hey, if you like that content, go ahead and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, String in a Cup. As long as you're listening, we appreciate you. Go subscribe now. It's Cranic Company.